What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Kakis, and today we are going to be showcasing the fastest way to level up within Destiny 2: The Edge of Fate. When I sat down to do this, I was a measly 131 power, and in just a couple of hours of grinding, I reached that 200 permanent power cap. I actually went a bit over. So what the heck are we doing? Well, let's get started. Now, this is going to be farming a specific activity over and over again because we can make it hyper efficient, and I'm going to showcase how, and the loot you get is outrageous just in the sheer number of drops and how much higher power level each drop is. And that activity is going to be in your portal, go to Pinnacle Ops, and we are doing Encore. Now, it says estimated time of completion 40 minutes. Not even close, guys. We're going to be showcasing how you can get this down to, I don't know, 10 minutes. I had someone in my chat saying that they were soloing it in 20 minutes. So again, you can make this hyper efficient. Now, how do you do that? Well, you need to select it and then you go into customize the modifiers, guys. Here is where things get crazy. You head down to boon and event modifiers, and the first one you want to put on is full throttle. This gives you a permanent escalating damage bonus as long as you get kills and not die. So that means if you go through the entire mission and don't die, at the very end when you're fighting the big boss, you're doing a crazy amount of damage. Like, you are just melting everything by the end of the mission. However, the next boon that you absolutely need to put on is going to be Grappler. This replaces our grenade with 3 grapples that recharge whenever you touch the ground. It is that easy, and frankly, it turns anyone into a speedrunner. You're gonna be hitting skips, you're gonna be jumping across massive gorges that you're not supposed to. You're gonna be completing this mission so much faster thanks to Grappler. It's so easy. Now, the last modifier, the last boon, is really up to you guys. Maybe not Grenadier because, again, you don't have grenades. They're replaced by grapples. I went with Slayer, but you can go with whatever here. It's mainly those first 2 that are so important. Now, after that, guys, you want to put on some challenge modifiers to increase the power level of your drops. You can see we're projected to get 137 power gear, and if I put a bunch of modifiers on to get it up to an A tier, now it's 138. But there's actually a trick you can do if you are extremely close to the next tier. Like, you can see we're just a sliver away from an A tier. You can actually leave it because the way that score is calculated, you often get above what is actually projected, especially if we head over to your rewards pass and you have that actual score bonus shown right here. I made a video yesterday about how important your rewards pass is within the Edge of Fate. So yeah, if you've leveled up your rewards pass and you're getting bonus score, like, obviously you're gonna be above that threshold. So you can leave it just a bit below, and then often when the activity ends, you will get above what's projected and get even better gear. You want to make sure though you're not like really low down in the C tier. You want to be up towards a B or an A tier before you start playing. So again, I just throw on a couple of Banes, and now let's talk about the mission itself, all the skips and the strategies. First of all, in terms of the weapons you should be using, for movement tech, the first thing I have is the mountaintop. This will let you shoot on the ground and propel yourself upwards. You absolutely do not need this. Honestly, with the 3 grapples, it became pretty irrelevant, but you may want to put this on. But what you really will need is a sword with eager edge. We're not doing anything complicated with this, honestly, guys. Like, with the 3 grapples, what you're using your eager edge is just to maintain momentum. You grapple somewhere, you eager edge forward some more so you can keep going fast across a long gorge, and then you grapple again. Like, it's nothing complicated, no crazy speedrunning techniques. It's just, I want to keep going faster. Now, what are you going to kill enemies with? Well, your abilities probably, but also you have the 3rd iteration scout rifle, guys. This thing is broken right now, and I mean that literally. It does so much darn damage, and Bungie actually tweeted out that it's because of the interaction with Scout Rifle anti-barrier rounds. So make sure you have that on. Bungie hasn't nerfed it yet, but this thing is doing way more damage than it should, and so we're going to take advantage of that. Simply aim down sights until the reticle tightens on a boss, and then you mark that boss and lay into him with the rest of your magazine, doing so much damage. Now, as for how to speedrun the Encore mission, we're also going to showcase why this mission is so good while I explain that. The first thing you want to do is drop down this gorge. Then you can actually skip the entire first part and land in this opening right here. After that, you're going to head down here and you're going to utilize your grapples, hopefully, to skip again this entire gorge. Normally, you're waiting for like elevators to come up. Nope, you don't got to do that now. After that, in this second opening, again, you can utilize your grappling hooks to try to skip this like central elevator, and then you have another sword skip you can do right here. Use your grappling hooks to, again, avoid having to wait for those like elevators to come up. Next, we're going to really power forward until we get to this section here. This is where you need to start moving around this like green buff to these different receptacles to spawn different areas of this map where you go in and interact with the beacons that it makes when you spawn the ground. And you can kind of see us do it in the background gameplay. If you have multiple people, you can kind of do it so that as soon as someone goes and activates on that Vex object, they hit the button and they're out. You pick it up right away so that they don't have to go all the way back to pick it up. You can kind of coordinate who's picking up what. And you can also see eventually when you get these mechanics done, you have to go and grab one from the far end of this hallway. But you can just see in the background gameplay, normally you're going to have to kind of fight your way / speed run back, guys. But with the grappling hooks, with the eager edge sword, you skip everything. I am going so fast that the spinning things that are supposed to damage me, they don't matter. The Vex things that put me in the detention sphere, they don't matter. I just go past all of them, and then you're going to, deposit that one, pick up the other one you don't need anymore, and continue forward. Then you can skip pretty much all of these enemies. You just need to hit that deposit. That's going to build a bridge, and we have our first reward. So this is what makes this activity so good. Not only are we going to get a ton of rewards at the end of this mission, but we get multiple rewards during this mission just for doing it. Now, the rewards just for doing this are going to be kind of capped around 200. And once you go above 200, it's only the end rewards that can drop above 200. That'll be in the seasonal power band. And so that's why this leveling method is unbelievably efficient for getting to 200, and it's still hyper efficient for going above 200, but it kind of falls off a little bit. Regardless, guys, once you hit that first chest, you can actually skip the entire next part with the man cans by just jumping off and using your grappling hooks to reach this Vex elevator field thing right here. You can see I'm then in the next room, and then we have some enemies to fight. Now, once you kill the Minotaur and you're able to plant that, you can continue forward. And then we have a section where you have to plant a bunch of modules, open up portals. Here's what's going on. When you originally get into this room, head off to the right, you'll find a blue module. Pick that up and plant it to open up this portal. This leads you into this new area, and in this area, what you need to do is kill a bunch of enemies. That is going to spawn a blue module kind of off on the ground here. When someone picks that up, someone else picks up the green module, as you can see, and that despawns the area the blue module was on. Then the person with the blue module heads off to the side and puts a new portal off to the left of that main portal. They head inside and pick up the first blue module you ever planted to start this whole thing. Then they come back out and plant that in the portal I'm waiting at. Once that's open, I head inside with my green module, plant that to create the bridge to the final portal while they are picking up that left side portal module that, again, they planted to go back to that starting area, and they're bringing that through the portal that they've just created to plant it, and you can continue forward. Again, you can just rewind and see what we do in the background gameplay, but once you kind of get used to that, it is going to be very fast just going through a couple of portals and planting everything. Then we get to our first boss fight, guys. So because of Full Throttle, this thing goes incredibly easy. You can see, combined with the bugged third iteration, we take down these bosses incredibly fast. Some of the footage is going to be from us two-manning, and again, we are just absolutely melting these bosses here, guys. Now, as you defeat the bosses, they're going to drop those blue modules to open up these portals. You head through another boss spawn, or the same boss spawns again. Once you lower them to the health threshold, they drop another blue module that you use to open up another portal. You keep going through the portals until you get back to this main area where you finish off the bosses. And we have another piece of loot spawning here. Now, you're then going to continue forward, and in this section, it is just grappling and sword swinging. You are skipping literally every ad. You don't need to kill a single ad here until you get to this section here. You will have to kill this big Cabal guy. Careful, his stomp does do a lot, but you can utilize a super. There is going to be a rally flag coming up to take this guy down super easily, or whatever you want to do. But a word to the wise, after you kill that guy, you're also going to need to kill this Vex Hydra boss to open up the portal. But for the portal, guys, make sure you go through the next two portals together as a team. If you have one person go through significantly before everyone else, so let's say someone died and they're lagging behind, it will actually not spawn loot for some people. So you can see when we go through the portal, there's actually going to be loot on the ground here. But again, if you don't go through the portal together as a team, sometimes some people won't get that particular drop. So word to the wise. You then interact with this object on the ground, then begins a yap sesh where you're going to have the characters just talking and talking. Once that is done, the boss fight begins. So this is going to be, you're first going to have to kill a bunch of enemies. You're going to have to plant the green module right in front of you to spawn this bridge where you can interact with the Vex pillar. Then you're going to see the boss in the distance. Like, he's going to go to either the right or left side, and that's going to indicate where you are going to have to go. So head over to the correct side. There's going to be like a Minotaur on the way to get another green module to plant and create the area here where you need to go onto this Vex plate. If you don't see the Vex plate lighting up with red, that's the wrong side. Just head to the other side. Charge up the Vex plate, guys. And it's as simple as, you charge up the plate, then you can shoot a little object near the boss's shield, and that makes the boss available to damage, guys. Little tip here. You're damaging the boss if you have a high damage super, something like Nova Bomb, or in this case, Thunder Crash. Get the boss low, and right kind of when the boss crosses that final health threshold, as you can see, pop your Thunder Crash, hit the boss, and you'll actually get the one phase. If you don't have like a really high damage super at the very end there, then the boss is going to teleport to the other side with the last little sliver of health. You simply need to kill one of the Minotaurs that spawns near you to get the blue module to create the portal to go to the other side, as you can see, and then you just kind of finish off the boss on this other side in no problem. So it doesn't take that much longer, but it's just a little bit quicker. And then get ready for the loot explosion. Like you saw earlier, guys, the amount of loot you get and how fast you can actually do it. We are talking, sub 10-minute runs for this much loot. Like, you're gonna get 8 drops of loot. It's absolutely insane, and all of that can just be infused up super fast to get you to that 200 permanent gear cap. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.